Tennessee basketball is now 3-0 on the season following a 99-66 win over North Florida. I'm Paige Dower inside Food City Center behind another stellar performance by JP Estrella, certainly becoming the anchor to this team through the first 3 games of this season. It's his 3rd straight game where he's in double-digit scoring, but tonight it's his 2nd straight double-double. He did so behind a 23-point effort, 10 rebounds, doing so in just 20 minutes of play. And what makes him so effective is how he goes out there and is just so effortless in the way that he is able to change the tone of this game. Tennessee was struggling early. The Osprey, they were leading 22-21 midway through the first half, and it really wasn't until JP Estrella got involved around that 8-minute mark that really flip this game on its head, and it's because of what he can do, especially on offense. I guess now turning into a 3-level scorer after he gets his first 3-pointer of his career coming from the top of the arc. And it was in that stretch where he hit his first 3-pointer that he scored 4 straight buckets at different levels. It was a dunk, a layup, and then the 3-pointer. And in the midst of all of that, he's on the defensive end getting a block. So there's a lot that JP Estrella is continuing to bring to this team, and it all goes to his mindset. He's locked in on practice, especially when it comes to getting those offensive boards. Not only did he lead the team in points and total rebounds, he also led the team in 6 total offensive rebounds, and that's actually the area that he prides himself on the most. Him and Coach Justin Gainey actually spend a lot of time together working on his ability to be effective in those O boards, despite if it's out of range or not. He says a lot of it has to come down to his instinct and then really just plowing his way through the bodies and the traffic and just going in there and getting the O board. What I think is most impressive about what we've seen from JP Estrella through the first 3 games of the season is a lot of what he does is it cleans up a lot of the mess on offense for Tennessee. Some of his points, of course, come with the tip-ins or the dunks, but it's what he can do when he's near the rim, where he's in that post play, getting points in the paint, cleans up a lot of the mistakes that we're seeing here on offense for Tennessee, where maybe they're overpassing, they're not communicating at the best level, so you have a lot of mental lapses and kind of blown plays happening on offense. But JP Estrella is there to really clean it up, and Rick Barnes was like, he can be a double-double guy kind of every single night, and a lot of what JP has done up until this point kind of doesn't surprise JP Estrella. And we had a sit-down conversation with him at the beginning of the season just about how much he has missed playing, and you can see that with how his practice preparation is really translating onto the court. Because what Rick Barnes highlighted today with all of the mental lapses on defense, which is really the second main point after what is a 30 or so point win for Tennessee. Again, what JP Estrella is doing on offense, he really is contributing on defense as well. And even there on defense, I think he's cleaning a lot of stuff up, because what we're still noticing is the same thing with the first 2 games we're seeing here in the 3rd game, is that there is still a lot of breakdown happening on defense. Something from practice is just not translating over to the game time. They have the size advantage on all 3 of their first opponents, yet they're still getting gashed when it comes to those paint points. They have a lot of turnovers and not taking care of the ball, and then that leads to fast break points, which really truly kept the Osprey involved in this game in the first half. But certainly a lot of frustration happening for the Tennessee basketball team as they try to figure out who's going to be the tone setter on defense. Amari Abram came in place of Bishop Boswell because he is still dealing with a foot injury from the previous game against NKU. He had some good steals. I think it was 2 steals tonight, but they certainly need more consistency from those defensive guys to make real true effort as the season does continue and progress. But we'll have so much more. I think some of the Lady Vols are trying to get some baskets up before their game against Belmont, of which we'll have post-game coverage of on Thursday, so make sure your notifications are on so you don't miss any of the coverage. I'll talk to you guys again tomorrow.